We're going to begin today on the floor, raising the upper portion of our back. Then we're going to drop it down into a cat position, head up looking towards the ceiling, reverse it back up, dropping down again, looking forwards. Just going to do a few of these, nice deep breath in and out as you move, arching the back. I'm going to bring one arm back slightly and do the same, then change again. So your right hand will come back and then your left hand, then left shoulder, right shoulder. Then we're going to take a few spinal rotations, so just circling your body all the way around, 2 each way. Leaning forward slightly and then coming back into a child's pose. And we're going to bring our arms forwards and slide into a puppy pose. Then arching up, coming down to a cobra position, lifting the head, looking up towards the ceiling. Back down to cobra, push back into child's pose, rounding through the spine and back into child's pose again. We're going to take a little twist, so bring one arm through, keep the other arm straight in front of you. You're going to lift it up and twist that round as well. If you can, reach it behind your back. If not, just stay where you are. Take a nice few deep breaths. Then we're going to come back to the front and change sides. So the other arm is coming through. Then lift your front arm back just to add an extra bit of rotation. If you can, tuck it behind your back and take a few deep breaths here. And back to the front. We're going to sit back into a child's pose, bringing the arms over to your left side, pulling back, and over to the right, doing the same thing. We're going to return to the middle, pulling back one more time until rounding forwards. Going to lift the knees off the mat and come back to a bear squat, pushing all the way up to downward dog. Walk the feet in if you need to. Just take a nice deep breath in and out. And we're going to come up onto our toes, forwards into a plank position, and straight back into a downward dog, leading with the hips. And again, up onto the toes, plank position, this time all the way down, up to cobra, bringing the head up, looking towards the ceiling. We're going to rotate to opening up on one side, and then we're going to swap to the other side. Then pushing back to a downward dog. Step the feet in if you need to. Really try and get your chest towards your knees. Coming up onto our toes, rounding forward into a plank, dropping down, chaturanga, and up into a cobra. Bring that head all the way back, looking up towards the ceiling. Back down to the floor. This time we're going to have our arms out and just bring one foot across to the opposite arm. Just as far as you can, don't worry if you can't reach. And relax into that position, changing over onto the other side. Try and keep your hands, both of them, flat on the floor. We're coming back up to a cobra and sitting back into a child's pose. We're going to tuck the feet under, lift the knees up and come back to downward dog. Then stepping forward with your left side, opening up towards your knee. And coming up to a high lunge, placing your left arm on your right leg and bring the right arm up towards the ceiling. Just hold for a breath and returning to the start position. This time we're opening up to the other side, so away from our knee. Then we're going to come up again to a high lunge, This time right arm to right leg and left arm is coming up towards the ceiling. Then return to a low lunge, dropping the knee, stretching out those hips. Bring the knee back up and we're coming to a downward dog. Then rolling forward into a plank, back into a downward dog, and now stepping forward with the right leg. Same as before, we're going to open up with our chest facing the knee. Then come to a high lunge. This time right arm is going to come on the left leg and the left arm is going to come up towards the ceiling. And we return and we're going to open up to the other side. Feeling a really nice stretch in our hips. And coming back up to a high lunge. Reaching the other arm up, looking towards the ceiling. Then returning to a low lunge, pushing those hips towards the floor. I'm going to step back to downward dog, bringing the left leg up and bending it over. And slowly flip over to Wild Thing, opening up the chest. Then we're going to come down and return, really opening up the chest, big stretch, flipping all the way up, back to one-legged dog, bringing that knee in and across into pigeon pose. Just come down towards your knee. Relax here for a moment. Nice deep breaths in and out. I'm going to bring the body up, chin up towards the ceiling and back down. So take a few rolls here, looking up towards the ceiling and bringing the head back down and pressing back to downward dog. Now we're going to kick up with the other side to one-legged dog, folding the foot over and across the body to flip over into Wild Thing. Opening up with the chest, chin up towards the ceiling. Going to bring the arm down towards our knee and back up. Then slowly return to one-legged dog, bringing the knee through into pigeon pose. Head up nice and high, then relax down onto your knee. Nice deep breath in and exhale as you come up, chest towards the ceiling, head tilted back, and we're lying back down again towards the knee, tucking your toes under and returning to downward dog. We're going to walk the feet slowly in towards our hands. If you can, try and grab hold of your ankles and wrap your arms around your legs to bring your body closer. Then we're going to lie down on our mats. If you need to shuffle, that's perfectly fine. Just going to hug the knees in towards the chest. And then bring one knee in, bring it across our body, having the opposite arm on top of the knee, and the same side, the arm out to the side, then up above us, all the way down to our side. So just adding a few extra movements. Just allow your breath to flow with this move. Then we're going to return, hug the knees in for a second, and change legs, bringing the knee across. Arms stretched out to the side, and we're doing the same thing. So we're bringing our arm out to the side, then up towards our head, out to the side and back down. Nice deep breaths. Relax into this. Allow your lower back to feel release. return to the middle, hugging both knees in and then crossing one over the other. We're going to take a glute stretch, so thread your arms through your legs and pull your leg in as close as you can, remembering as you exhale to go a little bit further and try and relax into this stretch. And returning to the start position, so we're changing legs now. Threading the arms through, grabbing hold of your hamstrings and pulling your leg in towards you. Exhaling and going a little bit further with the stretch, just relaxing into it. Then bringing the feet back down, and we're going to kick them over. Make sure you're supporting your hips with your arms. If you're comfortable here, you can bring your hands down to the floor as well. If not, just keep your hands on your hips to have them supported. If you do manage to get your legs all the way over, we're just going to alternate bringing one up and having one on the floor. You want to do this nice and controlled. Focus on your breathing the whole time. And if your practice allows, bring your knees down towards your head, extending one leg at a time. Then we're going to return to straight legs, bring them out to the sides and back in, one at a time. And to come out, just support your hips, bend the knees, and slowly lower your legs back down towards your mat. Extend both legs, bring your arms up towards your head, just rotating them round to your sides. We're going to take a seated position with our feet together, pulling them in nice and close. Deep breath in, and as we fold, we're going to fold from our hips and then let the back and the head follow. Aim to get your chest towards your feet. Nice deep breaths in and out, sitting up nice and tall. And we're just going to bring one foot across and bring our knee over, hug it in to give our glutes a good stretch. Placing one hand behind, we're going to twist round, so taking a spinal twist and a glute stretch at the same time. Okay, now swap legs. So one foot is going to come behind our glutes, the other knee is going to come in towards our chest. We're pushing away and twisting round at the same time. Then place one hand behind, push the knee out with the elbow, taking a spinal twist and a nice glute stretch. And returning to seated position. We're going to have our hands by our sides and tuck our elbows into our knees. Just gently press forwards to release the shoulder blades. Now reach forwards, trying to touch both of your feet if you can. Remember to fold from the hips, then let the rest of your body follow. Nice deep breaths with each exhale, try and go a little bit further. Don't worry if you can't reach your feet yet, it will come. Then back up to a downward dog position. Nice deep breaths coming up onto the toes, and take a chaturanga. Looking up towards the ceiling, opening the chest, and we're pushing back to a child's pose. Then we're going to thread our arms through, hold on to your shins whilst you tuck your head down and you push your scapula away. So imagine that you're pushing your shoulders towards the wall, rounding the back to give a nice deep stretch. We're going to return to child's pose. Having a wide-legged child's pose if you like, to stretch out the hips a little bit more. Now we're going to return facing the front of our mats. Take a comfortable seated position. Bring your hands behind you, clasp them together. Push out your chest whilst rotating your head from one side. Hold for a few seconds and then rounding it to the other side. Again, holding for a few seconds, feeling a nice release in your traps, your shoulders and your chest. This time rounding but keeping your chin tilted up towards the ceiling. And we're going to reach our arms up towards the ceiling together. Bring them down towards your center. Nice deep breath in, arms all the way up, nice big stretch. Hands together and bring it down to your forehead, to your center. Namaste. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.